Happy Monday, everyone. We are Grant and Botond, and we're going to be talking about our favorite player in the NFL today, Sam Darnold. So good. We're really hoping the Niners trade for him. No, what's going on is like every week it's someone new, Botond. It was Watson. It was Justin Fields. And now, for some reason, every single national writer, like Chris Sims, Peter King, and on and on and on, Michael Lombardi has had this epiphany that Sam Darnold is the perfect fit for the 49ers. Why is this happening, and what do you think it means?
Wow. First of all, hey, everyone. As always, I'm glad to be here. It's a great thing for a Hungarian guy like me to act like I'm an NFL expert. I'm pretty sure that I have developed myself for something. I'm still not pretty sure that I'm an elite NFL analyst, but I try to be. I try to do my best. To be honest.
Well, I'm putting you to the test this morning. I'm going full conspiracy theory here. All of a sudden, all these different people are saying, Sam Darnold. It just came to me overnight. I had a vision. It was in a dream. And now on the same day. So do you think there is something going on? Are the Niners trying to talk, like, is it Mike Shanahan? Is it Kyle Shanahan saying, hey, just between me and you, I kind of like Sam Darnold. What is going on here? Or is it just obvious?
Well, I don't know. To be honest, after watching his tapes, after this season, after last season, I was like, okay, everybody says that he could be great, but man, he makes some really poor decisions.
Yes.
And that's something that scares me. And I don't think that he can be a great fit for the 49ers, where Kyle Shanahan says something and you have to do that,
yes.
Even though if it's not possible.
Yeah.
I just can't see. I just can't see him fit into this 49ers offense. Yeah, I know everybody says that right now that he's a perfect fit for the 49ers, but we have talked about it before. It's cucumber season in the NFL right now, and I'm pretty sure we are going to have some more QB talks. Maybe after some weeks, we will read some articles about 49ers reached Andrew Luck and they just tried to make an agreement with him, but this can't happen. I don't see how this can happen.
I don't see how people keep saying he's a good fit for them. I mean, to me, he's the worst fit. He can't execute the simplest plays. He turns good plays that should work into off-script ad-lib plays, and he's not the greatest ad-libber. He wants to ad-lib all the time, and he's not that great at it. So I don't see it. And then, so to me, I want to go full. Like, I watched the tape. That's not a quarterback Kyle would like. Kyle likes quarterbacks who make the right decision, who see the field and make the right decision. This guy doesn't do that, and he turns the ball over a ton. He's worse than Jimmy. So what is going on here? Why to me, when all these people come out at the same time, Albert Breer, Chris Sims, Peter King, Mike Lombardi, it's like the Niners, I'm just guessing, picked 5 well-respected national guys from different publications and gave them the impression that this is how they feel. I don't know why. And why would the Niners want people to think they like Darnold? What's in it for the Niners? What's in it for the Niners?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't know. Maybe there's something between Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh.
Maybe.
That I'm pretty sure that the Jets wants to trade Sam Darnold this offseason, just like the 49ers wants to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. And we all know that Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh had a great relationship while Saleh was with the 49ers. I'm pretty sure that the 49ers just making a market for Sam Darnold. I wouldn't be surprised if in some point of the offseason, we will hear some news about the Jets are interested in Jimmy Garoppolo or something like that. So,
just to return the favor.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Maybe it's just a conspiracy theory, but I'm pretty sure that this is happening right now.
I totally agree.
Another reason why we should talk about Sam Darnold as a great fit for the 49ers offense when he is not.
No. And when the Niners make moves like this, they make them from out of nowhere. They don't leak it beforehand. It's usually like, oh my God, I can't believe they got the guy. That's how they've worked in the past. So to me, it's I could see Robert Saleh calling up Kyle and being like, Kyle, no one likes Sam Darnold. Like, I can't trade this guy. Everyone thinks he's terrible. I know you think he's terrible. I think he's terrible. He's terrible. But could you just whisper to 5 of your best friends in the media that you think he's good? We know you're not going to trade for him. But could you just tell some people that you think he's good? Because if people around the league think that you think Darnold is good, I might be able to trade him. Could you do that for me? And maybe Kyle's like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'll do that for you.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, maybe there's a favor in it down the line for Kyle. That's what I was thinking. Like, why do the Niners want this out there? What's in it for them? Oh, they're helping out Robert Saleh. They're creating a market for Robert Saleh's guy, and Robert Saleh is going to have to repay the favor at some point. Like, I don't know. Someday he's going to come to Robert Saleh. I need you. And maybe it's that. Maybe it's the Jimmy thing. So I led you to it, but I didn't really. You came to that on your own. I'm glad we're thinking along the same line. This is very fishy to me. Very, very fishy. And that's what makes you an elite sports analyst, because you understand what's going on beneath the surface,
Yeah, and the other thing is with those ridiculous ideas from American journalists and writers, first of all, with that ridiculous trade idea from Peter King, and after that, Chris Sims said that Zach Wilson is better than Trevor Lawrence. I was like, there's really cucumber season, guys, or you are using the same weed. I'm pretty sure that this is happening. I just can't see what is reality in these things.
Yeah, that Zach. We're going to get to our quarterback rankings. We're going to finish with that, because that's just, I strenuously disagree with that. Let's talk about Jimmy. All of a sudden, there's news about Jimmy coming from New England, not from the Bay Area. There's no news here from the 49ers. We were thinking maybe they might cut Jimmy Garoppolo. All of a sudden, the word in New England is he's plan A for them, and they don't really have a clear-cut plan B, which makes it seem like there's some urgency on the Patriots' part to get Jimmy Garoppolo and get him this offseason and have him as their quarterback next year, because Belichick's getting older. If they don't get Jimmy, they got to start over with some other rookie quarterback, and Tom Brady might just win another Super Bowl next year, and that's a tough look. So, what do you think Jimmy Garoppolo really is worth to the Patriots?
Well, I do think that this is a way harder question. Last season, we all knew that the Patriots wanted to give a first rounder for Jimmy Garoppolo. Right now, we all knew that he doesn't really have anything for any other teams in the NFL to give. That's why we don't think that he's worth more than a 4th or a 5th round pick. But there's one team, there's a single team in the NFL which can use all the abilities of Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's just because they loved Jimmy Garoppolo. He was a rookie there, and they all knew what he is capable of, and that's the Patriots. And that's why I do think that Patriots, he may be worth a 3rd round pick or a 2nd. And it's ridiculous to say that, because we all know that there's no other team who would give that much for Jimmy Garoppolo. So I do think that they can, and they will, if they are really interested, give a 3rd rounder for Jimmy. And I must say that that's a great price for him.
Yeah, it seems like what I've been hearing, or at least what's been reported from New England, is that the Patriots are basically okay with trading their 2nd round pick, number 46, or Stephon Gilmore, the 30-year-old all-pro corner who's a stud, but only signed through 2021. That's interesting. It seems like that's the starting point. And what I would look, I think a 2nd round pick for Jimmy's fair. But you'd want a 1st, right? So I think what you could ask for is say, the 2nd this year is great. How about a conditional 2nd next year that becomes a 1st round pick if you guys make the playoffs and he plays more than 8 games? A conditional next year. What do you think of that?
Could be great. But the question is, can we wait until next season? Can Kyle Shanahan wait until next season? Because all the things that we have talked about this offseason and in the end of last season was that right now we should make a mini rebuild in this team.
Yes.
And if you can earn some great picks for Jimmy Garoppolo, then you should try to earn those great picks right now if you really want to be a contender next season.
Okay.
So how I see that is it's a fair price, a conditional pick next season, but you just can't wait until next season.
That's fair, because if you get that second round pick this year, you have 12, 43, and 46, and you can maneuver and get whatever quarterback you want. You have the ammunition to do it. Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. Because if you wait till next season, you might get the first round pick, but it's a year later. And if he gets hurt and misses time and they don't make the playoffs, which is really possible with Jimmy Garoppolo, now you're getting like a late second round pick for Jimmy, which is not what you want.
On the other hand, if they are just trying to trade Jimmy Garoppolo for Stephon Gilmore, I do think that he is worth more than a second round pick right now on the market.
You think so?
So why don't you trade Jimmy for Stephon Gilmore? If you cannot re-sign Jason Verrett because he wants to try the free agency market, just keep him. But if you can re-sign Jason Verrett, then trade Gilmore and get a late first rounder, for example.
I see what you're saying. I don't think, can you sign a guy and then immediately trade him? Yeah, why not? But if you know, so you could trade him and then trade him again. Right. So basically the point is like, which asset is worth more, the 43rd pick or Gilmore? It's a good question. Maybe Gilmore is worth more than the 43rd pick. He might be.
He is a great player in his
position. Yes, he is.
A position which worth a lot right now in the NFL.
Yes.
Everybody's looking for great defensive backs right now.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And if you put him on a contender, he could be the difference. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good point. All right. Well, interesting. I hadn't thought of Gilmore being a more precious asset than a mid-second, but he might be. That's interesting. And I guess you just go with the better asset because if you take that second, you're probably going to trade it too. You're going to take that and trade it. So you mentioned Jason Verrett. He says he wants to test free agency. Clearly, he wants to get the biggest deal possible because he missed like 5 years and he hasn't made nearly the amount of money that someone of his ability should have made in his career. So more power to him. What do you think this mindset and this decision means for the 49ers?
Well, first of all, I can understand him. I do think that I would do the same. I would try myself because he just doesn't know what he's worth right now on the market. But if somebody just calls him that, okay, mate, we are going to pay you this much money, then I do think that he has more information about his own worth. And after that, maybe he can earn a better salary from the 49ers as well. And last week, we have talked about one-year wonder teams just because of the cap situation. So that's why I do think that maybe there are some teams who will sign him just for 1 year.
Yeah.
I think that's a possibility right now that he will leave the 49ers. We can't re-sign him. And if that happens, then cornerback is a great need for this team.
Absolutely. He could actually take a longer term deal. Like say he takes a 3-year deal and it's backloaded so that he gets a signing bonus up front. The cap number is pretty low in 2021 when the cap space is low, and then it's backloaded. He could sign something like that. And I don't think the Niners would be willing to give him a 3-year. Like say he gets what Jimmy Ward got last year. 3-year deal, $30 million, something like that. I don't think the Niners would be prepared to give him that. Although, and maybe they shouldn't because he's 30 and he's had these injuries. I don't know. He's really good though.
Yeah, he is great. He was great, but we don't have a great sample size. How long he can stay healthy? We have seen those wonder years before from Verrett, but we just couldn't see the consistency which you want from a cornerback.
Yeah. Last Second Sports says trading Jimmy in a 4th for Gilmore and a 2nd allows us to let Verrett walk. Letting Trent walk also, and all of the sudden we are the prime team in the NFC for free agents. It's clever. It's a way to get Gilmore and the second, trade Jimmy in the fourth. Yeah, it's pretty clever.
Yeah, it's a great trade, I must say.
Yeah, I like that.
The team, that's the best possible scenario for trading Jimmy Garoppolo and earning Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah,
great.
The Niners can. I don't know if the Patriots would say yes, but the Niners should be into that, giving up the fourth and Jimmy for. Yeah, I like that. Good stuff. All right, so that solves the Jason Verrett problem. Thank you, Last Second Sports.
Yeah.
Who do you think is the true leader of the 49ers franchise, in your opinion? John Lynch, the voice of it, or Kyle Shanahan, the architect of it?
Well, some weeks ago I've said that Trent Taylor is the personal mascot of George Kittle. I do think that somehow John Lynch is the personal mascot of the 49ers franchise, but he is not more than that.
Yeah.
He has the contacts. He can make some calls. Everybody respects him just because he was a great player in the NFL. But the true leader is Kyle Shanahan. And as I followed the news this week, I saw some articles about it, and some journalists think the same. That,
Greg Bedard.
Yeah. That John Lynch is just a mascot, and he is just a puppet in the hands of Kyle Shanahan. And
that's the perception around the league. It was kind of sobering to hear it from a whole different market. Like, oh, don't listen to anything John Lynch says. He has no power over there. And the guy said, Kyle Shanahan may not even tell him what he's thinking. He may just leave him in the dark, twisted in the wind. I believe it.
Yeah, I must believe it, because everything that happens with this franchise right now, everything that happened in the past 2 years, those things just said that this is the truth. Remember, I have seen only one real John Lynch trade, and that was the Garoppolo trade. And we all knew that there was a single man in this franchise who hated somehow that trade, and that was Kyle Shanahan.
Yes. But really, it was, to me, that was Belichick's trade. Belichick called the Niners, and the Niners were stunned, and they didn't know what to do. And Kyle, I don't know what he let John make the decision. They both said yes, reluctant. Kyle was more enthusiastic. I mean, John was more enthusiastic about it. Whatever. But I don't know. It didn't seem like Kyle acted like a leader in that moment. He let John make the call, say yes, and then complained about it. Dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's the thing. I feel like I don't know that Kyle has a true leader's mentality. And I think Lynch does. I mean, he was a leader on the field. He's been a leader pretty much his whole life, but it's Kyle's franchise. So Lynch is there to sort of provide leadership, but he doesn't have any power. So how can he do that? It's kind of, they brought him in for that reason, but then they pretty much took away his ability to provide what he needs to. So he's now useless.
But the thing is that I just cannot understand why isn't Kyle Shanahan the GM then?
Good question. I wouldn't be. I think he doesn't want the heat. He wants he is the GM, but I think he wants to delegate a lot of the authority and maybe the blame.
Yeah.
If my decisions don't work out, we're going to fire you and hire someone else to be a figurehead, and I'll continue to make the decisions. And then if my decisions don't work out again, we're going to fire you and please the fan base. But again, it's me. That way he doesn't have to fire himself. Because to me, I think the real GM of this team is Kyle and his dad. Those two guys make most of the decisions, and John Lynch just explains it. And that's how it's always going to be. That's the GM position on the Niners.
Well, that could be true. Could be true.
It could be true.
As I mentioned before, I'm really interested in those interviews with Richard Sherman. If Verrett leaves the team, the interview with Verrett, the interview with McKinnon. I just want to hear them, and I'm pretty sure that there will be some at least hidden informations about this franchise, which can just add some more into our pictures.
Certainly. All right, let's get to our last topic, but it's going to be a meaty topic. A lot to talk about here. Our mid-off-season rookie quarterback rankings. We don't talk about rookie quarterbacks enough. I've watched film of all these guys. I've listened to all the analysts that I respect. I've absorbed their analysis, and I've considered my own and I have a ranking. I would love to hear yours.
Well, yeah, a lot of news, Senior Bowl, since we have last talked about rookie quarterbacks, and a lot of interesting stuff happened. For example, I mentioned before this time in this show that Chris Sims said that Zach Wilson, in his opinion, is the greatest rookie quarterback right now in this class.
Mm-hmm. Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, that good.
Well,
so
OMG. Well, let's start it.
Yikes.
So first of all, I've never hid it. I never hid it that I'm in love with Trevor Lawrence, how he plays American football. He is a great leader. He is a great quarterback. He is the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. And we all knew that Andrew Luck was a pretty darn good quarterback in the NFL. The only reason why he wasn't successful is that the Colts just couldn't give him an offensive line. And he was injured way more than he should have. So Lawrence is the first. Second, it's a way harder question. I do remember that last time.
I agree with you that Lawrence is number one, by the way. Let's just go by number two and we'll give our rankings. So let's go to number two. Who do you have at number two?
Yeah, at number two, last time when we have talked about it, I said that it was Trask, in my opinion. And somehow I still feel like I will put Trask into that second position. And I will tell you why. Well, maybe he is not the most NFL-ready quarterback right now, but that guy is smart. He has the leadership. He knows how to fight for something he wants to do. And I do think that these things are way more important than just talent in the NFL. So I do think that he has that mentality that a lot of quarterback just doesn't have right now in the NFL. So that's why I must say that I do think that he can be better with right coaching than, and a lot of people will hate me after I say that, than Deshaun Watson. He can develop himself better than Deshaun Watson is right now.
Wow. I love Kyle Trask, but my number two quarterback is Kellen Mond. I love Kyle Trask all offseason, but the more I've watched of Kellen Mond, I put him up there because I feel like the upside is a little bit higher because of his athleticism and his mobility. He can just make plays outside of the pocket that even Trask can't. And I think that his throwing ability has like untapped potential there. He never threw for 4,000 yards in a season, but he was on a team that ran the ball a lot and didn't have a lot of playmakers. If he had been at Florida, if he had been at Alabama, he would have been starting at those schools and he would have put up the numbers that Trask put up, Mac Jones put up. I think he's going to be kind of like Justin Herbert in the sense that he was on kind of a rinky-dink team, kind of a rinky-dink offense, but still carried that team to wins all the time, had a lot of experience, and then went to the Senior Bowl and people could be like, oh, you are really athletic. You do fit in, and won the Senior Bowl MVP. And then when they stepped on an NFL field, you could just kind of see it. They fit. So a little bit, that's why I'm comparing him. I think he's really good. I think he's the second best quarterback in the draft, and you're going to see it when he steps on it. He's going to be good right away the way Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert were. Number three.
Sounds fair. Number three. On my list, it's Mac Jones.
Ooh.
After our first conversation about rookie quarterbacks, I watched a lot of tapes from Mac Jones, and I still think that he will be a reliable and a good NFL starting quarterback, although I don't like Alabama quarterbacks at all.
Yes, for good reason.
He is my number three on my list.
Okay, I like Mac Jones a lot, but I'm going with Kyle Trask. I'm with you. I like Mac Jones, but I like Kyle Trask better. They're very similar. They basically are confined to the pocket, but they seem to have the footwork, anticipation, accuracy to win from the pocket, which is rare. You don't see college football producing classic pocket quarterbacks as much anymore. The reason I like Trask better is I see him as being he's great from an empty formation with no running back. There's no running game at Florida, and they would put him back there by himself a lot with 5 wide receivers. Now, the receivers were good. The offensive line wasn't, and you're just telling the defense, look, we're dropping back and throwing. And he carved defenses up that way. It's not easy. When I watch Mac Jones, I see a guy who's really good with anticipation and accuracy and all that stuff, but a lot of play action, which always helps a quarterback. I mean, that creates way bigger throwing windows for a quarterback. It slows down the pass rush because they're playing run before they play the pass. If you put Kyle Trask in that offense where he could fake the handoff to Najee Harris and then throw downfield, his numbers would have been crazy. I think he has the field vision, the quick decision making, and the accuracy to be really good. People say he has a noodle arm. Nah, he just takes a lot. He can take velocity off the ball. He throws a very catchable ball, and he's a fantastic deep thrower, which shows you that he has velocity, just like Mac Jones.
Yeah. The thing is with Mac Jones, just to connect back into your opinions about Kyle Trask, is that I do think that Mac Jones can maybe transfer into NFL easier just because he learned in a pro system, in a way more NFL-like system than Kyle Trask. That's why he can be maybe more successful at start. But in the end, I do think that Kyle Trask has a way better upside than Mac Jones has.
He's also bigger than Mac Jones. People don't talk about that. I think size matters, especially for pocket quarterbacks who aren't going to escape the pocket when bodies are around them. Kyle Trask just can stand there and make throws with people hanging off him, kind of like Big Ben. And Mac Jones looks a little CJ Beathard-ish when people start when the bodies start closing in. They look about the same, really, physically. He's better than CJ Beathard, but okay. Number 4 on your list.
It's Mond.
Okay.
It's Mond. I like him. I do think that he can be successful in the NFL. He didn't have that targets that, for example, Kyle Trask or Mac
all
Jones
of them. Trevor Lawrence, all of them,
in college football. But I do see some flows with him.
Okay.
And, I'm not sure that he is a great field reader as a quarterback. Because, there are not so many examples of it. And they are just running an easier scheme than most of the NFL teams are running right now in the NFL. So that's why I'm not sure that he can transfer in the NFL as successfully as, for example, Trevor Lawrence or Trask or Mac Jones could.
Mm-hmm.
But he has the upside.
Mm-hmm.
He is throwing the ball most of the times beautifully. I must admit it. Yeah. He has a great arm for deep throws. And that's why I do think that he earns that 4th position. But I must be careful with him, and I must say that everybody should be careful with him. We drafted him.
Yeah.
He needs a great QB coach and a great head coach and a great system, which helps him developing into an NFL quarterback. So maybe he has way more needs as a quarterback as those 3 that I mentioned before.
Okay, I see what you're saying. For number 4, I'm going Mac Jones. I like Mac Jones a lot, but I think Kyle Trask and Kellen Mond have just a little bit more physical gifts and upside. Mac Jones has gotten the most. He's really good for a guy who looks a lot like Nick Mullins. I mean, he's not that big. He throws a really nice deep ball. His pocket presence is terrific. His anticipation is terrific, but I really think he has no physical gifts in the sense that CJ Beathard has no physical gifts. And that scares me just in saying, like, what is his upside really? Who are the 6'2" immobile pocket quarterbacks that were great in the NFL? Usually the guys who can't move are 6'5", Phillip Rivers, Big Ben, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. The 6'2" version, like those guys usually can move a little bit. Aaron Rodgers, Joe Montana, Steve Young. So I'm thinking, Kurt Warner couldn't move. He was similar, but Kurt Warner had like the quickest release of all time. It took him until he was about 30 years old before he could even play in the NFL. He was in freaking Arena League. I feel like Mac Jones is scary because we all agree he's better than Tua, but what does that mean? Tua might be a career backup. So is Mac Jones just a better Tua, or is he going to actually be a good starter? I think he's going to be a good starter, but I have some questions, and that's why I put him fourth. Just the physical stuff.
I do think
looks like CJ Beathard.
I do think that he can be a great fit for the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
I think that's the greatest fit for him right now in the NFL.
Yes. Yes, I think so. It'll be good. I mean, he'd be doing a lot of the stuff that Teddy Bridgewater was doing, Jameis was doing, Breeze was doing. Yep. Okay, how about number 5?
For me, it's Zach Wilson.
Me too. That's exactly where I put him, number 5. Why do you put him there?
Well, the guy is great, I must say. That his tapes showing a great athlete, a great quarterback, and just a great football player. But if you are digging into the depths of American football, you can see that, as I mentioned, our previous time when we were talking about rookie quarterbacks, that he hadn't played against any great defenses in college football.
Yeah.
So we don't have a sample size of him playing against elite defenses.
He's got all day to throw. His receivers are open.
Really?
It's weird. He had one good year in college.
Yeah.
2020. When he played by far the weakest schedule he ever played. He had all day to throw. His receivers were wide open. Are his receivers NFL receivers? Probably not. Maybe one or two of them might be on a practice squad, but they were better than the corners they were going up against. The scheme was really good. There was a lot of play action, a lot of rollout, half-field, predetermined reads. And the guy was nothing special in 2018. No. Nothing special in 2019. All of a sudden, he has this awakening and he improves a lot. To me, he could be a big-time bust. He didn't prove it for more than 1 year. He never backed this. If he could go back to college one more year and do it again, I'd feel more comfortable about spending the top 3 pick for him. But he's going to go to a terrible team like the Jets, and he's going to be expected to do better than Sam Darnold did, and he won't.
Yeah, I do think that he is a boom or bust prospect.
Yep. And
you just can't give an early first rounder for a boom or bust prospect.
It looks like he's playing 7-on-7 football at BYU in 2020. Yep. In 2019, it was a little bit tougher, and he threw like 11 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in a season. And that guy's going to go number 2 in the draft like 2 years later. I'm sorry. A lot of mediocre players have had one great year. I mean, Robert Griffin had one great year in college, and it was better than Zach Wilson's year. It was in the Big 12 against some NFL players. So Zach Wilson scares me, but I do like him better than the people I have later on the list because he's got a very quick release. He is athletic. He has upside.
Yeah,
but he's going to get drafted way too high and go to a bad team and be expected to be freaking Kyler Murray or something right away, and that's not him.
Well, not the same position, but somehow he reminds me of Arik Armstead.
Yeah, somehow. I see what you mean. Yeah.
So we drafted Arik Armstead just because he's upside.
Yeah. Someone said RG3 wasn't a bust. He just got injured. Well, I think that's probably what's going to happen to Zach Wilson. He runs around a lot. He's not gonna. I mean, he's gonna take big hits in the NFL that he didn't take at BYU playing against nobody teams. His playing style scares me. I wonder about his durability. He holds the ball a long time. He plays like he's got no pass rush around him because he doesn't.
Yeah, and he had a shoulder injury before.
He had a shoulder injury. He's had surgery.
Yeah.
He has an injury. He's a 1-year wonder. He had 2 years of mediocre at best production and play. He was playing nobodies this year during a pandemic. He only was in 2 close games all year and lost one of them. Scary. He could work out, but I just feel like he's got a laundry list of questions and concerns that bother me. I mean, everyone held Josh Rosen's upbringing against him. He was too rich. Zach Wilson is way richer than freaking Josh Rosen. Zach Wilson's like the richest man in the world. So I don't know. It scares me. He's a lot like Johnny Manziel. Like if you see Johnny Manziel these days playing that fan-controlled football league with no pass rush, that's Zach Wilson at BYU. He's 7-on-7 football. He looks great. He looks freaking amazing.
Yeah.
It's like 8 steps into his throws and just fires it across the field. Great, dude. Nice.
Well, here in Hungary, there's an arena football league.
Okay.
Every offseason.
There you go.
And
hey, Zach Wilson's going to be playing in that a few years.
Yep.
Okay, who's number 6?
My number 6 is Justin Fields.
Me too.
Justin Fields. I do like him. I see his upside, but I do think that he is a one-year wonder. He's a one-read quarterback, and somebody says that he's smart. He's a great athlete, and those things like that. But okay, there's a proof that he is a great athlete. But I don't think that he is a fast thinker on football field.
No.
And that's a huge problem in American football right now. Yes. While we are talking about the league is just transferring into a pass-heavy league, where the 49ers is right now the only team who tries to be, which tries to be run-heavy. And
True.
You just don't give a quarterback who is a one-read quarterback a first-round pick.
No. And it's because, like, you see him, he tries to go through his reads, but he just takes him forever.
Yep.
Forever.
Yep.
Slow.
You just don't have time for that.
And stuck.
If you are just not a fast thinker as a quarterback, you are just
also. So he's slow from A to B to C, and I think his throwing motion is long. He does not have a quick release. I don't think he's going to be particularly consistent on the short stuff, the slants, the quick outs, all that stuff. He makes very difficult throws down the field, but the easy stuff, he's too inconsistent. He misses open receivers all the time. He'll see him and wait too long to get him there. And as a runner, big and fast, but not particularly elusive. And that's why he got his ribs broken at the end of the season. He just let a guy square him up. I think Trey Lance is actually a better runner than Justin Fields. He's more elusive. He has more gears that he can. Anyway, yeah, Justin Fields scares me. I think he's going to be another bust. He's going to end up going top 10, and he's going to really let teams down. Justin Fields, number 6. Who you got number 7? Trey Lance?
Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Trey Lance. I have my own questions about Justin Fields, and I have way more questions about Trey Lance. I just can't see how he can be successful in the NFL. I don't see a coaching staff who can just build up a team on his skills, and I don't see a team which can be successful just because of him being a quarterback right now in the NFL. You just don't give a first-round pick for that. Don't.
No.
Neither a second rounder.
So, no, he's a day 3 pick. He may not be able to play quarterback. He's a wildcat quarterback who's kind of more like Taysom Hill, best case scenario. I don't think he'll ever be a full-time starting quarterback. Nagatani says, who has the fastest release in this class? To me, it's either, who has a quick release? Mac Jones has a quick release. Kyle Trask has a quick release. Kellen Mond has a quick release, and Zach Wilson has a quick release. Trevor Lawrence does not. That's the one thing. We didn't really talk much about him. He's the best player in this draft. He's been proven for 3 years. Don't overthink this one. He's really good. And he's athletic. Excuse me. But he does not have a quick release. He's 6'6" and gangly. 6'6", 213 with very long arms and what seems like very long legs and what seems like very long arms. I think that's going to hold him back from ever being like a top 5 quarterback in the league. Just his ability to make quick snap throws off his back foot under pressure. He seems like he kind of needs to get the whole apparatus, you know what I'm saying, moving. Yep. But that's my only nitpick is the long arms. Other than that, he's not going to be Joe Flacco. He can be better than that. But no, when Chris Sims puts Zach Wilson ahead of Trevor Lawrence, that's the reason why. It's if your offense like the Raiders or the Niners, where everything is within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, then you're kind of wasting Trevor Lawrence's ability. Same with Justin Fields. Justin Fields would be terrible on the Niners. There's too many short throws. Trevor Lawrence should be throwing down the field and behind a good offensive line. Niners don't have any of that. They have a terrible offensive line and a quick passing game. So maybe Zach Wilson, in theory, would be a better fit. Only problem is Zach Wilson is a complete mirage. He's fool's gold. Yeah. But someone like that is what they want.
And I don't know if you know the story, but when Zach Wilson got his contract from the BYU. He went to his prom with 2 BYU cheerleaders.
See, if Josh Rosen did that, they would have been so mad at him. But Zach Wilson does it, and they're like, hey, nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know. Something weird about that guy. And it's like when you watch the Coastal Carolina game that he lost, he did play decently in that game. But it was clear that Coastal Carolina's game plan was to rough him up. They just kept punking him. They throw him on the ground and hit him. And I think their attitude was he doesn't like being touched. And you could see him like getting up and yelling at him and stuff. And I think they felt they got in his head and that he's not used to being touched because he basically plays 7-on-7 football all the time. So if that's the book on him in college, what do you think NFL teams with NFL line? What do you think guys like, Drake Greenlaw and Fred Warner are going to do to him?
To them.
Oh my God, they're going to be in his face so much. Anyway, Keyjohn 25 says Mond is the best quarterback in this draft for the 49ers. Can make every throw, extend plays, big guy. Yeah, he's my guy. I'm almost wondering if they would take him at 12. Because if they would take Mac Jones at 12, I prefer Mond to Jones. I wonder how high Mond is going to end up going in this draft because it seems like all of a sudden he's getting a lot of momentum.
I do think that Mond is building up his stock right now with the Senior Bowl and with his season. He was an under-the-radar player. I do think that you were the first who wrote about him, that he could be a great fit for the 49ers. And to be honest, I'm not really sure that he can be a great fit for the 49ers. And it's just because of Kyle Shanahan. Because what I know about Kyle is there's something which he doesn't like from his quarterback, and it's something that you call creativity.
That's funny. Here's the thing. Let me just make the case real quick for Mond. I almost feel like they've beaten the creativity out of him at Texas A&M. Well, the one thing Chris Sims said was, hey, man, like, you can improv more. Use your athleticism. And you see it like he's really faithful to the plays that Jim Bo Fisher calls. I think, unlike Lance and Fields, Mond has that quick release and is so good on slants and in-breaking routes over the middle, which is the majority of the 49ers passing game. He can execute all the stuff that Jimmy Garoppolo executes as a passer, the stuff between the numbers, the stuff inside of 20 yards. I think he's got a much better deep ball down the middle. That one that Jimmy Garoppolo missed in the Senior Bowl, Kellen Mond can hit that. The question with him is his anticipation and accuracy outside the numbers, which is fair. You can see it on film. But you know what would help that? Brandon Ayuk. Deebo Samuel. He's never played with guys like that. I'd like to see. Just kind of like how Justin Herbert, like, oh, all of a sudden you give him Keenan Allen. Oh, yeah, that's really going to help. He's never played with someone like that before.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what kind of upside he has. I might be imagining the upside because when you watch the film, it's not extremely sexy. I mean, there's not a lot of huge plays. It's Texas A&M, but I'm trying to imagine him in like an offense like this one. And I think he can execute what Jimmy does, plus not turn the ball over all the freaking time. Plus, he can take off and scramble like on 2 third downs a game, which is something you want. I think he's good for 2 first downs with his legs a game. And Jimmy Garoppolo, if he ever ran more than 10 yards, he might tear his ACL again. I mean, his longest run of his life, he tore his ACL was 13 yards. I'd like a quarterback who can actually go and run when the defense plays 2 deep safeties and man across the board and has no spy on the quarterback. And it's hard to throw against that. They're basically saying, hey, man, you can't move. You're not an athlete. We're going to take away all your throwing lanes. Okay, well, Kellen Mond can beat you anyway.
Yeah.
Kellen Mond needs to pay me if I'm going to keep talking about him. Jaheim Rakeem, good name, says the 49ers need to do is trade Jimmy in 12 to New England for Gilmore 15 in a second. That's similar to what Last Second Sports was saying. Last Second Sports said Jimmy in a 4th for New England's 2nd and Stephon Gilmore. This is Jimmy in 12 for Gilmore 15 in a second. I don't know, man. I have to look at the numbers.
Well, if a team really needs Jimmy Garoppolo, and some people are saying that the New England Patriots is planning right now with Jimmy Garoppolo. They just want him because he can be a factor on that team. which is reliable for them because they know him. And if they are saying that he's worth for them Stephon Gilmore, you just say that, okay, just give me Stephon Gilmore and I'm okay with it. Or if they just give you a second rounder, not Stephon Gilmore, you should say that, okay, I take the second rounder. You just don't have to try to sell him Jimmy Garoppolo, because if they want him, they will review that they want him. And sometimes it's better when you just let them give you the price what they want, or after, if they try to give you something which you are not which you doesn't like at all, don't like at all, then you just can ask for more. Maybe you can get Stephon Gilmore and the 4th or a 5th rounder or a 6th rounder or something like that, and that's okay. You just don't have to give them a great first round pick position, because you can do a lot of things with the 12th pick on this NFL draft.
Yes,
you can trade back, you can trade forward, and it's way easier with that. And for example, Stephon Gilmore or a second rounder than with 15th pick on the draft.
I'm getting lost with all these great trade ideas here. Okay, Brian Bergquist says, Grant, Botond, what's your reaction if the Niners don't even take a quarterback in the first 2 rounds and we still have Jimmy?
Well, I have a pretty great view right now from my flat into Budapest. I do think that I would just jump out of the window. Nope. To be honest, well, I don't like Jimmy. You all know that I don't like Jimmy, and it's not because I don't think he is cute. I don't know if he's cute enough because I'm a man, so I'm just don't have any idea. But I know that a lot of girls just like him, and other 49ers fans are thinking he's a great quarterback just because he has a winning record, because all he does is win, like Tim Tebow did with the Denver Broncos. Just a great comparison, I think. I just can't see how we can keep Jimmy Garoppolo because he earns a lot of money. I don't think that that's going to happen. But if that is going to happen, I'm pretty sure that I will wait for the minute when Kyle Shanahan will get fired from this team.
The only way I could see it as a positive is if it signals that they really believe in Josh Rosen and they want to focus all of their energy on developing one young quarterback, and that's the guy they want to develop. Because I do think he has upside and talent if given the opportunity, and if he hasn't matured and can work hard like he should, like the way Nick Mullins does. So that would be if they come out and be like, look, we didn't draft a quarterback, but you don't understand, like, we love Josh Rosen. We love him. That's why we didn't trade for Sam Darnold. I'd be like, all right, well, okay, I'm open-minded. I kind of like Josh Rosen too. But if they don't draft a quarterback and they like re-sign CJ Beathard or something and run it all back, and they're like, no, the quarterback wasn't the problem. Like, I would actually laugh because it'd be a lot of fun for me. I don't root for this team, and it would ultimately be what gets these guys fired. I mean, you passed on they haven't drafted a quarterback since CJ Beathard. They have to draft a quarterback. They have to. And, I don't think they can draft Justin Fields or Trey Lance because they're too much like Colin Kaepernick. And if they drafted those guys, everyone would be like, so wait, hold on. Why did you get rid of Colin? Because you said he didn't fit your offense. So you were lying. It was just politics. Well, why'd you lie about it? Why don't you just tell the truth? Raj says, I'd trade Jimmy for a second and trade back with our 12th pick and pick up another second, which gives us 3 second rounders to fill in most of our needs. Three seconds.
That's a great idea.
I like it.
That's something that I have talked about, that right now this team has so many needs. And with Verrett trying to leave the team, trying the free agency market, I must say that you have to get as many picks as you could as the GM of the 49ers, because you have so many holes that you have to fill with some great players. And I do think that there are some really great players in the second round right now on the draft. And I don't think that we can have money for all veteran players for those positions.
Mm-mm. Rich Kell says, who do I root for? The Raiders? No, I don't root for anyone. I'm a sports writer. I can't be a fan. I don't root for it. I root for me and the hits and the money. What else we got? I think that's it for today. I think I'm gonna let you go, Botond. Thanks for coming on. We came on a little later. It's almost midnight in Budapest. Not quite.
Oh, not really. Not really. Quite. Just 10 minutes to 9:00 p.m. Oof. So it's great. It's just a regular Monday.
All right, man. Well, thank you for giving me your time late at night. I really appreciate it. Wow. And we'll be back next Monday.
As always.
I'm
glad that I can be here every Monday. So see you next time, guys.
See you next time, guys.